Hey everyone, and welcome back to CIN News Group Podcasts. You've tuned into Deep Dive, where we take a closer look at all the things that make you think, I need to know more about that. I'm Ira Lee Wenther, and joining me today is expert commentator Perk Malortson.
It's great to be here, Ira. I'm always excited to delve into these fascinating topics.
Well, today we're strapping on our rocket-powered surfboards and blasting off into the cosmos because we're breaking down the brand new Fantastic Four First Steps trailer. This has got everyone buzzing, especially the hardcore comic fans.
And for good reason. This is the Fantastic Four's first official foray into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it looks like they're really going for something unique.
Absolutely. Right off the bat, this trailer throws us a curveball. We're not getting the origin story we might expect. This Fantastic Four is already assembled, already out there doing their thing.
It's a bold choice that immediately sets this film apart from previous iterations. By skipping the well-trodden origin story, the filmmakers can dive straight into the complexities of these characters and their relationships. It's almost like we're meeting them mid-chapter, which adds a layer of intrigue.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit. First off, can we talk about this 1960s vibe? Herbie the robot whipping up a futuristic feast in a kitchen straight out of a vintage magazine. That's not your typical superhero headquarters.
It's a brilliant way to visually differentiate this version of the Fantastic Four and tap into a particular cultural zeitgeist. This retro-futuristic aesthetic with advanced technology coexisting alongside what we might consider outdated tech creates a really fascinating juxtaposition. Imagine a world where the space race never ended, where scientific innovation continued at a breakneck pace. What would that world look like? What hopes and anxieties would define that era?
And it's not just the technology. We see glimpses of the team giving a tour of the Baxter building to what looks like a news crew. Are they celebrities in this world?
That's a really interesting question, and I think it gets to the heart of what makes the Fantastic Four so compelling. They're not just superheroes, they're adventurous scientists and, dare I say, public figures. The idea that they're already well known before the events of the film unfold opens up a whole new avenue for exploring the dynamics of family and public perception. How do you maintain those personal bonds when you're constantly in the spotlight? How do you reconcile the weight of your responsibility to the world with the needs of your loved ones?
Speaking of family, the trailer spends a lot of time focusing on Ben Grimm, the ever-loving blue-eyed thing, and his struggle to adapt to his, shall we say, rocky transformation. I mean, those shots of him looking at old photos of himself before the accident, it's enough to make a supervillain shed a tear. And then you've got that line where he talks about wanting to add zip to Herbie's cooking. Is he trying to hold on to a sense of normalcy in a world that's been turned upside down?
Those scenes really resonated with me too. Ben Grimm's transformation into the Thing is one of the most iconic and tragic in comic book history. He's a character who grapples with profound questions of identity, body image, and what it means to be human. You see, Ben's story isn't just about physical change. It's about the emotional and psychological toll of becoming something other. It forces us to confront our own fears about acceptance, belonging, and how we cope with the unexpected twists and turns that life throws our way.
And let's not forget the looming threat of Galactus, Devourer of Worlds. We get those quick but intense glimpses. Fire raining from the sky, that ominous shadow stretching over New York City. I mean, talk about a bad day for real estate. This guy is a cosmic-level threat, unlike anything we've seen in the MCU before.
Precisely. Galactus isn't just another supervillain with a vendetta. He's a force of nature, an entity whose very existence challenges our understanding of good and evil. In the comics, he's often portrayed as a necessary evil, a being who consumes planets to maintain the balance of the cosmos. It raises all sorts of moral and philosophical questions. What are the limits of power? Is it ever justifiable to sacrifice one world to save countless others? These are heavy themes that I think this film is going to explore in interesting ways.
We only see a brief shadow of Galactus, though. No full reveal, which, honestly, I'm kind of glad about. Builds the anticipation, makes him even more menacing. But speaking of mysterious figures, John Malkovich pops up in this trailer, and we have absolutely no idea who he's playing.
That's right. John Malkovich's character is shrouded in secrecy. It's sparked endless speculation among fans. Could he be a lesser-known Fantastic Four villain like the Mole Man, whose motivations are often tied to a sense of alienation and rejection? Or perhaps he's connected to Dr. Doom, the Fantastic Four's arch-nemesis, a character known for his intellect, ambition, and complex moral compass. The possibilities are endless, and I love that Marvel is keeping us guessing.
I do too. A little mystery keeps things interesting. But one thing that's definitely not a mystery is the importance of family in the Fantastic Four mythos. The trailer keeps hammering that home, with the dinner scene, Reed and Sue's tender moment, and especially Sue's closing line about facing anything together. They're a team, but more importantly, they're a family, right?
Absolutely. The Fantastic Four's strength isn't just derived from their individual powers, it comes from their unwavering bond as a family. They support each other, challenge each other, and ultimately they're willing to sacrifice everything for one another. It's that unshakable connection that allows them to face down cosmic threats and overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. They're a testament to the idea that even in the face of extraordinary circumstances, the bonds of family can endure.
Couldn't have said it better myself. This trailer is a wild ride, and it has me super pumped to see how this version of the Fantastic Four comes together on the big screen.
Me too. I think this film has the potential to be something truly special. It's a fresh take on a beloved team, and I'm eager to see how they navigate the challenges and triumphs that await them in the vast, ever-expanding Marvel Cinematic Universe.
And speaking of navigating, we're going to take a quick detour into the world of speculation and delve a little deeper into some of the themes and implications this trailer raises. So buckle up, Fantastic Four fans, because things are about to get really interesting.
You know, Ira, there's a subtle detail in the trailer that really caught my eye. It's that quick shot of Reed Richards' blackboard covered in those complex equations.
Good catch. It definitely gives off that classic mad scientist vibe. But if you look closely, there's a diagram that's clearly labeled another universe. It's almost like she's cracked the code of multiversal travel.
Exactly. And that seemingly small detail could have huge implications for the future of the MCU. We know the multiverse is a major focus right now, and the Fantastic Four have always been deeply intertwined with those multiversal shenanigans in the comics. Could this be their ticket into the main MCU timeline?
Now that's an intriguing thought. What if their universe is on the brink of collapse and they're desperately searching for a way to escape? Maybe that's why they show up in Avengers, Doomsday. Not as a triumphant arrival, but as refugees from a doomed reality.
I love that theory. It would add a whole new layer of complexity and urgency to their story. It would also make their arrival in the main MCU that much more impactful. They wouldn't just be another superhero team joining the fray. They would be survivors carrying the weight of a lost world on their shoulders.
And don't forget, Reed Richards is considered one of the most brilliant minds in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
Imagine what he could accomplish in a world where technology seems to have advanced far beyond our own 1960s. It's like a world where the dream of space travel never faded, where scientific innovation became a way of life.
It really underscores that sense of boundless possibility and exploration that's so central to the Fantastic Four's identity. They represent the best of humanity's potential. The drive to push beyond boundaries, to seek knowledge, and to confront the unknown with courage and compassion.
We've talked a lot about the family aspect of the Fantastic Four, which the trailer definitely emphasizes. But it also hints at some of those classic character dynamics, like the playful rivalry between the Thing and the Human Torch.
Ah, yes. It wouldn't be the Fantastic Four without a bit of bickering between those two. In the comics, their relationship is a constant push and pull, full of teasing and pranks, but underneath it all, there's a deep bond of friendship and loyalty. They embody the complexities of sibling relationships, the love, the frustration, and the unwavering support that only comes from shared experiences.
And their contrasting personalities make for some really interesting storytelling possibilities. You have Ben grappling with the profound changes to his physical form and struggling to find his place in the world. And then you have Johnny, who seems to embrace his powers with a carefree, almost reckless abandon. It makes you think about the different ways people respond to trauma and adversity.
It's a classic exploration of the human condition set against the backdrop of extraordinary powers and cosmic threats. What's fascinating about the Fantastic Four is that even with their incredible abilities, they're still relatable. They experience the same joys, sorrows, and doubts that we all do. Their struggles remind us that even in the face of the extraordinary, it's our humanity that defines us.
And speaking of extraordinary, let's circle back to Galactus. He's not just a villain in the traditional sense. He's more like a cosmic force of nature, an entity whose actions are driven by a fundamental need rather than malice. He consumes planets not out of cruelty, but out of necessity. It's almost like watching a hurricane or an earthquake unfold.
Yeah.
You can't reason with it, you can only try to survive it.
Precisely. And that makes him a particularly challenging adversary for the Fantastic Four. They can't simply punch their way out of this situation. They have to confront a being who operates on a scale beyond human comprehension, a being whose actions have far-reaching consequences for the entire cosmos. It forces them to ask some difficult questions. What are the limits of their responsibilities? Is it possible to save everyone? And at what cost?
Those are some heavy questions, and I have a feeling this film won't shy away from exploring them. It's one of the things that makes the Fantastic Four so compelling. Their stories often delve into these larger themes of morality, sacrifice, and the nature of existence itself.
Yeah.
They're not just about stopping the bad guy. They're about grappling with the complexities of the universe and our place within it.
Exactly. And I think that's why they've resonated with readers for so long. They offer a unique blend of action-adventure and philosophical exploration. They challenge us to think about the big questions, even as we're being entertained by their incredible feats and heartwarming relationships.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about the unique setting, the family dynamics, the looming threat of Galactus, and the mysterious role of John Malkovich. But there's one more piece of the puzzle that we haven't addressed yet.
And what would that be, Ira?
Well, we've talked about the Fantastic Four, their dynamics, and the potential villains, but we haven't touched on a major player in the Galactus saga, one who's notably absent from this trailer, the Silver Surfer.
Yes, the Silver Surfer. A fascinating and complex character. In the comics, he serves as Galactus's herald, scouring the cosmos for planets to satiate his master's hunger. But he's also a being of immense power and compassion, often torn between his duty to Galactus and his empathy for the civilizations he's tasked with condemning.
He has a whole other layer of moral ambiguity to the story. It makes you wonder if his absence from the trailer is a deliberate choice. Maybe Marvel is saving his reveal for a later date, or perhaps his introduction is a surprise they're keeping tightly under wraps. Either way, the Silver Surfer's presence, or lack thereof, is sure to spark a lot of conversation among fans.
I think it's brilliant, really. It keeps us guessing, and it allows for a more gradual unfolding of the narrative. The Silver Surfer represents a crucial turning point in the Galactus saga, a moment where the lines between hero and villain, right and wrong, become blurred.
Speaking of blurred lines, we still have the mystery surrounding John Malkovich's role in the film. We see him, but we don't know who he's playing, what his motivations are, or what side he's on. It's driving the fan theories into overdrive. I've seen everything from Mole Man, the puppet master, to some obscure characters I've never even heard of.
The speculation is part of the fun, isn't it? It speaks to the richness and depth of the Fantastic Four's lore. There are so many compelling characters and storylines to draw from, and Marvel has a knack for weaving those elements together in unexpected ways. It keeps us engaged and invested in the world they're building.
Absolutely. And speaking of compelling elements, let's talk about the title, First Steps. It's intriguing, isn't it?
Yeah.
On the surface, it seems like a straightforward reference to the Fantastic Four taking their first steps as a team in the MCU.
But as we've discussed, it could have multiple layers of meaning. Could it be alluding to Franklin Richards, the team's son, and his journey of the self-discovery? Or perhaps it hints at humanity's first steps into a larger, more dangerous universe, one filled with cosmic entities like Galactus and the Silver Surfer. The title invites us to consider the broader implications of the Fantastic Four's arrival in the MCU.
It's like they're not just introducing a new team of superheroes. They're introducing a whole new way of looking at the universe.
Yeah.
One where the boundaries of reality are constantly being tested and expanded. And that brings us back to the heart of what the Fantastic Four represents: exploration, discovery, and the boundless potential of the human spirit.
They embody that spirit of adventure and wonder that's so essential to our nature. They remind us that there's always something new to learn, something new to experience, and that even in the face of the unknown, we have the capacity to adapt, to grow, and to overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges. They inspire us to push beyond our perceived limits and to embrace the infinite possibilities that lie ahead.
Well said, Berkma. This trailer has truly sparked our imaginations, and we can't wait to see how this incredible team is brought to life in the MCU. It promises to be a wild, thought-provoking, and emotionally resonant ride. We want to hear from you. What are your theories about First Steps? Who do you think John Malkovich is playing? Let's discuss it in the comments.
Don't be shy. Share your thoughts and be sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the worlds of pop culture and entertainment. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep looking up at the stars.
And as always, thanks for tuning in to CIN News Group Podcasts.